Do you know what actually happens inside your cat's body when they eat too fast every single day? Most owners think it's just a bad habit. Maybe your cat is just hungry. Maybe it just loves food. Maybe it's just how they are. But what's really going on inside their body is something most people have no idea about. It affects their digestion, their behavior, and even how their body processes food over time. And some of the effects don't show up immediately. They build slowly, in the background, until one day, something feels off. So if your cat eats fast, this is something you need to understand. Because what looks harmless might not be. The first thing that happens when your cat eats too fast is something very simple, but very important. They swallow air, a lot of it, and that air doesn't just disappear. It builds pressure inside the stomach. Now imagine eating a full meal as fast as possible, without really chewing, without pausing. That pressure has to go somewhere, and in cats, it often comes back up. That's why some cats vomit just minutes after eating, not because the food is bad, not because they're sick, but because their body simply wasn't given time to process the meal properly. But it doesn't stop there. The second effect is deeper. And most people never connect it to fast eating. Digestion slows down. And that sounds strange at first, because eating fast feels like speeding things up. But inside the body, the opposite happens. When too much food arrives at once, the stomach has to work harder, breaking everything down at the same time, instead of processing it gradually. This can lead to discomfort, bloating, and in some cases, irregular digestion patterns. And because cats can't explain how they feel, most owners don't even realize it's happening. Now here's where things start to shift in a different way. Fast eating doesn't just affect the body, it starts affecting behavior. Over time, your cat begins to expect food in a certain way. Fast, immediate, no delay. Even if there's no competition, even if there's no urgencies, they still rush. Because their brain has learned something simple. Eat fast before something changes. And once that pattern is created, it doesn't disappear on its own. But this behavior doesn't come out of nowhere. There's always a reason behind it. In many cases, it starts early. Competition with other animals, inconsistent feeding times, or even environments where food feels uncertain. And even if those conditions are gone, the behavior stays. Because for your cat, it once made sense. But here's the part most people completely miss. Eating too fast, repeatedly, can turn into something chronic, not just occasional vomiting, but ongoing digestive discomfort, subtle changes in appetite, changes in behavior, even changes in energy levels. And because it happens slowly, it's easy to ignore until it becomes a real problem. So if your cat eats too fast, don't just brush it off. Because it's not just a habit, it's a pattern, and patterns always have a reason behind them. The question is, are you paying attention to it?